Chaser giveaway, baby. And I'd like to give a special FU to the guy that commented on my post saying, really dude, beating on the giveaway car? Well listen, here at LZMFG, we like to believe in the cars that we give away. And guess what? Not only are you gonna get new tires in the rear when you win this thing, you're gonna know that the car's good if you wanna do a donut, if you wanna have some fun, and we don't need to worry about it breaking. But wait, there's more! I feel like it's kind of obvious that we're gonna replace the tires that we just burned off with some Accelera 651 Sport 285s. But what I don't know that I've mentioned yet in any videos is the winner of this car is also getting a matching set of rear drift spares. We could have been cheap, we could have given you some Bobo ass drift spares. You get in the real deal, matching rear wheels with another set of tires so you could have some fun. If you want to do burnouts at your ex-girlfriend's house, or if you want to take this thing to your local drift event, today is the last day to get entered for a chance to win. Every $5 you spend gets you entered for a chance to win. We get a bunch of rad gear on the site, ton of new stuff if you haven't checked it out already. Heat Wave sunglasses, BC Racing coilovers, Griot's detailing products. You have no excuse but to buy something, get entered for a chance to win, and support what we do. Now, if you saw the title of this video, you're probably wondering, what is wrong with the big frog? I hate myself.
Cut.
We've been through it a few times now in my videos, and if you are a big block guy or you watch Steve Morris' channel, you probably know with these big block engines, measuring lash is super important, and we've made a habit of doing that between pretty much every event. But there's a misconception that Steve was very clear on, and that is that you are not just supposed to be adjusting lash. What you're doing is checking lash to try to spot any issues before they become a bigger problem. Because a tiny little issue in the head could translate to a big issue that could damage a bottom end. And we have identified and possibly found our first major problem with the engine. I'm not gonna go through the whole process now, but it basically involves turning the motor over and then getting to a point where you can check the intake and exhaust valves and the clearance that's between here. That would be lash. Now everything was within spec, except there's one little pesky valve that was giving us some issues before that had some inconsistent readings. And he had us go through a couple things, check spring pressure, adjust it, turn the motor over a couple times, and it keeps on giving different readings, which Steve says tells us there's an issue. He's thinking it's probably something as simple as a lifter. However, to make it an easy job, we have to pull the intake off, and he wants to consider looking into a different lifter design if that is what failed. So like we explained when we started this project, the reason why I partnered with Steve is because he knows a lot about these engines, and he's committed to giving us the best package that will be best suited for what we do in drifting with the least amount of maintenance. So I'm not upset. I signed up for this, and I'm excited to figure out what the actual issue is so we can improve it. The goal is to be able to market this as a setup that we have already tested, tried, proven, and improved. And this could be one of those things that you don't know until you try. I've talked about it in other videos, but I think we're finally gonna take the plunge. We're kind of at a hiatus with a few different projects, and as you saw on the big block, we're gonna be waiting some parts for that thing. So the K-Series S13, that I think is one of my favorite cars to drive, is missing one big key thing, and that is power steering. Now, I actually enjoy driving this car without power steering. The problem is when it comes into a tandem scenario, not having the ability to make steering corrections just makes me kind of a flight risk for both crashing my own car and crashing into other people. So today, we are going to be adding electric power steering, which we've done to many cars now in the past couple years, but I don't think we've done a really detailed install. So we're gonna walk you through the install of what we have here, which is a Dodge Durango power steering pump, along with a kit from Hang Tight Motorsports, which comes with a little bit of wiring, some plug and play controller stuff, a little knob for adjusting, and we'll kind of walk you through the process, and we'll see how different this car is with power steering. Now the first dilemma is where to mount this thing. It's not pretty, and I kind of like having my engine bay nice and open. We were talking about putting it maybe down there, but then we ran into the scenario of, well, there's a lot of heat there with the header, and then we got to cross the lines back to go to the power steering pump, and then where do we put the reservoir? So we talked about doing it like we did on my 890 Supra, which is pretty neat. It goes actually in the fender in here, and it's mounted up there. But in the event that there's a crash or something happens, and with how low this car is, we were like, about it. And I believe Sean came up with the idea of putting it in here, mounted to the back of the bash bar, which kind of gives us a cool run to put the reservoir here. It puts it in the middle when it comes to the lines, and it keeps it out of the engine bay so we're not cluttering stuff up. Thankfully, this isn't in a car, there's no intercooler, and this car has plenty of airflow. It'll be behind the bash bar that doesn't have any airflow anyway. So maybe there'll be a little bit of additional heat soak, but this car runs so cool, I don't think it'll be an issue, and that's what we're gonna do.
All right, so we spent the morning trying to play with a couple other areas where we might be able to mount the pump, but it ended up being in the same spot. So we took the bash bar off and the bracket, found a nice little spot to drill it.
Like right there.
Something like that. We found some lines from Drift HQ that have like a perfect 90, so all the return lines can go back to where they need to go and not get kinked in the bumper and stuff. It's a very tight fit.
Yes, very. It was tight when we did the oil cooler, and it's even tighter now. So.
Yeah, I think we've got a game plan. So we're gonna basically drill 2 holes, get this bracket mounted, and then we can get the pump mounted to the bracket and then run all of the lines and be done. So
They have power steering.
very good. We'll have Durango power steering, you know,
Yeah.
S13. I wonder if that's gonna make it like super smooth.
Wait, so if we put a Durango pump, it might have secondhand wiring issues.
Because it's a Dodge.
It's a Dodge.
We'll have to see.
So you don't need secondhand.
It's like operation.
Yeah.
Owen made something pretty cool. Show this off. Look at that. You made that on the lathe?
Yes, sir.
And that's to merge the 2 hoses together.
Yeah.
I'd get one of these at AutoZone for 10 bucks made of plastic. Support the foreigners. Those USDM made crap.
Yeah.
Just pissed off a lot of Americans.
I know. I'm just. If you can't get my satire, that's like it's like opposite day. Oh, get it?
Ooh.
Get it? Opposite day.
Too bad the rack isn't here.
Yeah, we were hoping to get this thing fired up today, but rack didn't ship.
I ordered the pressure fitting, the high pressure fittings that go into the S13 stuff.
Cool. Well, I'll be in Poland next week, so when I get back, we get to test this thing with electric power steering.
Hell yeah.
All right, this is something I was not planning to get to in this video, as this was supposed to be a very long ordeal, but I'm way more excited than I've been for any package in a really long time.
What the
You're
heck,
gonna see
dude?
my excitement or disappointment in this clip. Maybe a little bit of both. All right, you ready?
What is it? What is
Come
it?
here. We got number 1, my very own custom.
Ooh, okay.
See where we're going with this?
Yeah.
Look at that, dude.
Dang, that's so sick.
I'm very excited. Brand new glass. It's so
Dude,
subtle.
Brand new.
I'm terrified to even touch this. Miles per hour, baby. 200. Pretty cool, huh? And what's cool is the miles now are converted. If you remember before it was in kilometers,
Right.
converted to miles now with a little signed piece of paper so people know that I wasn't the one messing with the speedometer. It looks like it's a lower mileage car now, because when it was kilometers, it was a bigger number.
Right.
Now it's a lower number. I'm gonna be honest, it kind of sucks that I didn't go crazier, because it's like the same price. I could have had my face put on the cluster, you know?
You're right.
Like it's like when you're paying for a customizer, you want to like customize everything, and I did literally the most basic thing of customization ever. So this to me is pretty cool. This is my tack that now goes to $9,000. Where before, I think it only went to like 7 or maybe 75. So we were just burying the tack all the time. That's pretty neat. And I had them put the red line at 8,200. So that's about what I rev to. I'm excited to put this in. Oh yeah, dude, she's tight. Remember before I would shake it and it would
Yeah.
bounce all over the place?
Goosey.
I'm gonna post a clip to my story of me revving. I wonder if anyone will notice the gauge. All right, here we go. We got the full assortment. Now we're gonna put them in the car and see if it looks a little more purposeful. The scary thing is that I can put this in crooked, so I gotta line it up straight.
Yeah, I dig that.
I still don't know how I feel about it, if I'm being
Come
honest.
on. It's so subtle.
We'll see. We'll see. Give it a shot. Truth. Oh, they got that to do miles too.
Dang.
I didn't know that they were gonna be able to do the computer. I'm just excited to rev it with the new tack, if I'm being honest. I still need to push them in all the way, but I'm like a little bit terrified of, well, it's not too late. That stupid annoying light I gotta turn off every time I start it. Should I be that guy and just take the bulb out?
Yeah. If you're annoyed by it.
It doesn't really matter anymore because I got a standalone.
Get rid of that thing.
So while installing them, I realized that my gauge's lights didn't really work, and it's traced back to a dimmer. I realized I have to pull the gauge back out, reach my hand in there, pull out this relay, and we're gonna try to resolder this relay internally because old Porsche things. Let's see. Oh yeah. Look at that. This little guy right here. See how it's like not touching it? Mm-hmm. How is that like such a common thing that like...
Yeah, they could have just not put enough solder on it from factory and over time it...
So how do I fix that? I just push it back in and then...
Yeah, push it so that it's like with it and then solder it.
This is a first for me. Well, it still moves around a little bit, but it's a lot less than before. Maybe this engine just revs quicker than the actual gauge can actuate. If you watch, it's like nice and smooth and steady coming up and down. But when I rev it quick, it's got a little flap. Thing's kind of nuts.
It sounds so cool. How do you feel about the blue now?
I feel like the mint's growing on me a little bit.
Okay.
I still got to give it time though.
All right.
You guys have been asking for a compound update, and I don't know that there's enough stuff to constitute like one major update, but I'll show you a couple new little improvements that I'm pretty excited about, starting with the dumpsters. I don't know if you guys remember before they were really ugly and they stuck out like a sore thumb, so I always hated them whenever we took photos or videos here because they were really ugly. I can't change the color of the dumpster because we don't technically own them, but I can change the color of the lid. So I was able to buy black lids for my dumpsters. Now they blend in a little better. Seems silly, I know, but the giant bright blue lids before were
yeah, they were nice.
not it. So I wish we could like camo them or put branding on it, but they said we can't. But they didn't say anything when we changed the lids. And we still have the old ones, so. Back here, I think we might have shown this at one point, but we did a little bit of just like brush management because this building was getting pretty overgrown, just to make sure that it has like a decent fire clearing around it. My F30 that maybe I'll build someday. And then back here kind of turned into the dump of the compound where we would put lots of things, like as you saw before in Rudnick's video, the E36, the K-Truck pallets. But Hunter's actually been cleaning this area up. So if you look, this is all pressure washed and beautiful. And we've got a little bit of extra space now. Basically before, gate was here. We moved gate back because we can. They used to have this property set up so that semis would come in from the back of the property, so they had to have a huge pad for the semis to sit on while they were waiting for the gate to open. We don't do that, so this pad was just sitting here, not really being utilized. So now we have a little bit more space to utilize, and then this now isn't all backed up with trailers. So like honestly, this is like, when I look at this, this is a pretty good FD corner right here.
It's weird to see concrete without rubber on it.
I know, not for long. Now that's not the purpose of doing this, but just a little bit of extra space so we don't have to like put stuff in the grass is nice. This is officially the last time you will hear me talking about the giveaway chaser, because this is your final reminder. Today at midnight Pacific Standard Time is going to be your last shot to get entered for a chance to win this thing. Like I said before, we got plenty of stuff on the LZMFG site, and every $5 you spend gets you entered for a chance to win, and it's a great way to support what we do. Head over to the site and shop before it's too late. Hey, what are you guys doing?
Stealing.
What?
Packing.
Why?
Packing for Poland.
We're going to Poland?
Yeah.
Did you remember the thing we talked about?
No.
Starts with a W,
No.
ends with a OK. Comment below if you get it.
No.
Do you get it?
No.
It's a rap reference.
Oh.
I don't really listen to rap music, but like some people will get it. Yeah, so we're going to Poland. In Poland, we're going to compete in Drift Masters in the stadium with all the people. Pretty excited to have the E36 out there and drive it again. It'll be the last event before the Drift Masters car gets... No, sorry. After that, we're going to be driving that same E36, the lightweight carbon Kevlar one, at LZ World Tour in both UK and in Ireland, which is exciting. Then it's going to get shipped back home and I don't know what to do with it from there. So we'll see, but it's gonna be exciting to have that car back here. It's got a lot of spares with it, motor, trans, so it's gonna be a lot of stuff that's very convenient to have that's been tied up over in Europe for the past year. Even a toolbox. We're gonna have another toolbox back here that we haven't had in a minute. So that's exciting. That's what we're getting ready for now because we fly out on Monday. One other, I guess, piece of information. I'm not going to give you guys the full details on it, but now that this car has a transmission back in it, next stop for it is to go to the frame machine. I want to get this rocker pulled out. It's kind of hard to see unless I open up the door. But she's still a little munched down in there, so we're going to get that dialed, and then I think we're going to do a little bit of a switch up with this car. Aesthetically, we're going to change up the style and make it live its next legacy. And I feel like every time I do that with a car, I wind up missing the old version. Like my yellow Chaser, I still think I liked the most when it was brown. My white R32, I hated when it was green, so it went back to white. Not really great with change, but I also get bored of things. So this is one of the cars I love driving, but I'm kind of bored of how it looks. So we'll switch it up and see if we like the next version more or less than the current one. Worst case scenario, you can always go backwards, right? While we're gone, Owen's gonna be working with Steve to figure out the next course of action when it comes to the big block so we can know our path forward. So that way, when we get this thing back up and running again, we got some mods that we wanna do to it to make it a little bit faster mechanically, engine-wise. We're just chasing durability and reliability. Can't remember if I talked about this in any of the videos. This was like one of my weekend projects. Actually, no, this was on Labor Day. I spent organizing this pile of all the random E36 stuff. I wanted to try to start fitting body panels on the old chassis just to make it look like what it used to. But I need some parts like hinges and latches and things. But it'll be cool to see this thing sitting at least until we put it back to a full car again, looking exactly like it did with the old livery and everything. And I think to wrap things up, what I'll do is I'll give you guys a quick update on some of the cars in the shop. I know sometimes you guys see them in the background, you're like, why is that thing on the lift? What's it doing here? My mom's car needed some fresh tires on it, and I'm also gonna see if I can get someone to help me clean up the tune. It just kind of like surges a little bit at low throttle, low RPM because the big cam. If we can get it to drive smoother, sick. If we can't, I told her I'll just put a stock cam back in it. That's like the one thing that she is not a huge fan about the car, understandably so. It kind of makes it annoying to drive. And then this car is just getting its transmission put back in it because we actually stole it from the car to test fit in the yellow S15 when we were building that thing because I was impatient and wanted to order a drive shaft as fast as possible.